quite honestly, also what we've determined through this, that from visiting with some people, that there are some folks that, to be quite honest, aren't really suited for this kind of a lifestyle.
Well, it's a lot more work than some people realize.
This has been an interesting day.
Yes. It always is.
Yeah, sure has. Anyway, what we thought we would talk about today, last Friday, March the 1st, marked 5 years full timing.
5 years
Right.
ago on March 1, 2019.
Wow, I cannot believe it.
Doesn't seem possible.
And the weather now is a whole lot different than what it was that day.
Now
Believe
it's,
me.
oh yeah, well, we're in a different location,
Oh,
but
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we're still down here in Florida. We will be headed back towards Arkansas, moseying back that direction beginning about the middle of this month.
Yes.
Yeah. But we thought we would talk about, the pros and cons of full timing. We get questions all the time, people asking us how we handle this, how we handle that. And quite honestly, also, what we've determined through this, that from visiting with some people, that there are some folks that, to be quite honest, aren't really suited for this kind of a lifestyle.
Well, it's a lot more work than some people realize.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an easy lifestyle as far as relaxed and stress-free most of the time.
Well, when you get all your work done and everything that you got to do, then you have
you
this
can
time
relax.
to sit and relax.
But we have chores to do.
Oh, yeah.
And in fact, one of our friends even made the comment, he was temporarily in an RV, and he said, this RV living isn't easy.
Yeah.
And we said, no, there's certain things you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, he had never done it before, and he was new to it. So,
Exactly.
it was quite an experience for him right out of the chute. Things he had to remember to do that you don't have to do when you're living in a house.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And one of the things, probably one of the first things that hit us square in the eyeballs was weather. When we were in a sticks and brick house, we check the weather if it looks stormy or, whatever, but we didn't check it on a regular basis. Now, and several years ago, in fact, 3 or 4 years back, we actually check the weather daily, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, because the weather affects us so much more than it affected us in a sticks and brick house.
This is true. This is true. We've been in some pretty rough storms.
Storms,
Yeah.
just wind. If the wind picks up and you are one of those people that have a awning, you have to pull that awning in,
Yeah.
or it'll get damaged.
Well,
And if the wind is high enough, you don't want to leave your lightweight chairs sitting out. You got to
Right.
put them up.
So there's, a lot of little extra things you have to think about, when it comes to the weather.
Yes.
Not only just that, but also, if you're going to be dealing with abnormal
Cold.
cold temperatures like we've experienced here in Florida. We've had several
Yes.
mornings where it got down below freezing.
Right.
And we were hooked up to city water. So we had to think about that for a little bit. And usually what we would end up doing when we knew it was going to do that, we go ahead and fill our fresh water tank and just use our fresh water tank
Right.
during that time.
But you have to know this
Right.
ahead of time, and you have to keep on top of
Right.
it, or it could cause other issues that you don't want to deal with.
But you've got regular maintenance you have to do. We try to stay on top of everything, but our van does have quite a few miles on it. So yeah, there's regular things that we have to do. And when we come back to our home area in northwest Arkansas, I've always got a list of things that I take to my mechanic and say I need you to,
And we have a list
address.
now.
Yeah, we've got a list. We've got a list of a few things. And on the trailer itself, probably when we get back, we got to look at getting new tires for it. We've got to lube the wheel bearings again. We'll be on our second time doing that.
Yes.
But we stay up with these things to try to keep from having
Major problems. Right.
Down the road.
Right.
So, those are little things, but sometimes it gets a little more complicated, a little more frustrating, especially if you're new to to this lifestyle. We're kind of used to it now, so it's not that big of a deal. But you know, you don't always, especially some of the places we go, you don't always pull in on a perfectly flat pad to park your RV.
Well, moving day is stressful enough, as far as we're concerned, because that's the day you pack everything up, make sure everything is secure. You hook up the trailer to the van. Bill runs all the tires, checks all the outside stuff. I make sure everything on the inside is secure. We drive 3-4 hours to our next location normally, get to where we're going, hopefully by 3-ish. And then we set everything up. We make sure the trailer's situated the way it needs to be. We make sure the water's hooked up or our fresh tank is filled. You know, there's certain things you have to do, and 9 times out of 10, we didn't eat since we ate breakfast that morning. And then by the time we get everything set up, we're hungry.
Yeah. But, you know, and I've watched videos from other YouTubers that talk about, you know, they remember when they were young and they went out and played while Dad did all the work, and now they got to do all the work, and they didn't realize how much work is involved. And yes, there is work involved, but when you do it as often as we do it, you know, it gets to be second nature to you. But still, it's work.
It is work.
It's work. You have to, now and then you have to lift something heavy. Now and then you have to bend over a lot, go up and down, you know, and you have to go through extra efforts sometimes to get your trailer level if you're on a pad that is not very level at all, and we run into that a lot because of the places we go. So those are the things, you know, that sometimes some people don't want to have to deal with all that. They want to.
Well, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with hauling off their gray water and/or black water if you're there at any period of time. There again, we've tried to make it as easy as possible, and we have shot videos of that. Y'all know what we do if you've been watching us. And but it's still something that has to be attended to every few days.
And the next thing we need to talk about is the days of, now some are going to argue with me about this. I can already imagine what the comment thread is going to look like. But the days of just simply pulling up and saying, have you got a site for tonight? Those days are few and far between.
Few and far between.
You know,
most places want a reservation.
Right. And it's getting to be like that more and more all the time, especially if you come down into an area like we are here in the Florida area. You know, you've got to plan everything well in advance to make sure you've got a place to stay. Oh, in Northwest Arkansas.
I've been trying to make my reservations, and it's like, okay, I should have done this a little bit ago.
It is. But, you know, so you've got to get comfortable with doing things online. You've got to learn how to work the internet, you know, and figure out how to do all this stuff.
And that brings me to my next thing.
Okay.
Don't always have good cell phone and internet.
You don't. So
sometimes that's frustrating.
Sometimes if you're at a spot where you have good service, that's when you need to take the time to go ahead and plan a little bit further out in advance, you know, so that you won't get to that situation where, okay, now I got to find a Walmart parking lot. You know, or
and that's okay for one night at a time, of course. Cracker Barrel, a lot of our friends do that, and truck stops, that type of thing. But when you're going to your next destination, you want it to be a little smoother than that.
No, at least that's the way we feel about it.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
I already know that after I made this statement just a little bit ago, some people are going to stop watching the video and they're going to immediately start commenting, and they're going to say, well, I don't run into that trouble when I'm doing dispersed camping, when I go to BLM land, when I do this and do that. We already know that. We know that that stuff is out there. But here again, if you're starting out fresh and you're learning all this stuff, you still have to figure out where all these places are. You know, and there are apps out there that helps you find this kind of stuff, but you've still got to work with the internet in order to figure this out.
Well,
you know,
the internet's pretty important to us, of course, because we have the YouTube channel, so we're always looking for a place we can upload videos. Sometimes we have to drive a while to upload a video.
We're constantly doing signal strength tests.
Making our next reservation. Paying our own personal bills. I mean, we have bills. We have car insurance, phone bill, all these other things, just like you do.
We do it all online.
We do it online.
We minimize the mail as much as possible.
Yes.
Of course, the mail is held for us until when we get back to our home area.
Right.
But usually,
thank you, daughter.
Yeah, thank you, daughter. But 95% of all that is junk mail.
Yes. Most of what we get we've had it paperless.
Right.
And
It's a good thing to do, is try to go as paperless as possible.
and when
Yeah.
you're traveling from one destination to the other, the roads aren't always wonderful.
No.
And the traffic isn't always thin.
No.
Sometimes it's bumper to bumper,
Yeah.
nerve-wracking,
You gotta
white
deal with-
knuckle.
Deal with yo-yos that don't understand, that they need to give an RV a little bit of room. And I can hear people complaining now about, well, the RVs they're slowing traffic down and blah, blah, blah. Well, we always try to stay out of the way. But hey.
Here again, we try
deal
not to
with it.
travel during what we call rush hour.
Right.
Rush hour is anywhere from, usually between 4 and 6 in these cities. So we try to already be at our campsite by then.
And we also try to avoid large cities. We'll try to lay out our route or find a campground that we will stop and stay at, which actually in a way takes us away from large cities. And Atlanta is one that we try to avoid. Birmingham is another one. We've been through Memphis several times. It's not all that bad, but
Still makes me nervous.
Yeah, we still don't like going through Memphis. Little Rock is a piece of cake.
It's much better than it used to be.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so those are little things that you got to be ready for. And so what else? do we
Another
need to talk
question
about?
that we've had is, what do you do about health care? What
Mm-hmm.
do you do about, your doctors, and of course insurance? And of course we are of the age of being able to get Medicare. I did, however, opt to not go with regular Medicare, go with a Health Advantage plan. And there again, that's like an HMO, so we have to watch which doctors we go to. And so far, knock on wood, we haven't had to find a doctor in another state.
No.
They
We've been
tell me that
fortunate.
we can,
Right.
but we haven't had to do that.
No.
Our prescriptions, I believe Walmart is who we use, CVS and Walgreens, all, if you have your prescriptions with one of those, then you can go different places in the country and get them to fill your prescriptions.
Yeah.
We found that that's one big stress I don't even have to worry about.
But there still takes a little bit of pre-planning, to make sure all that
Yes.
stuff is covered. And fortunately, we don't have a lot of prescriptions that we have to
No,
take.
but Bill does have Deb.
Have what?
Deb.
Oh yeah, I've got her, and of course, and of course, we pay all of our bills online. We already talked about that a little
Yep.
bit, and we have regular monthly bills like everyone else.
The other
So-
question I had just at the last campground
Mm-hmm.
was, what about laundry? What do you think about me getting a 5-gallon bucket and a plunger? And I said, well, you can do that. If you're at a campground that will allow you to hang your clothes out, some campgrounds don't want you doing that. Or if you happen to have access to 5 gallons of water, because when you're hauling water in and hauling water out, water becomes very precious.
Yeah.
Personally, we just go to the laundromat, because in an hour and a half, 2 hours, I can do 2 to 3 weeks worth of laundry, be done with it, and we're off on the next adventure.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about laundry.
Runs us somewhere between $15 and $20 about every 2 to 3 weeks.
Depends on where you're going.
Yeah, depends
Yes.
on where we're at.
That's a good day to do grocery pickup. That's a good day for
Yeah.
laundry. It's a good day to maybe Deb gets lunch.
Yeah.
It's a good day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she's learned where all the good restaurants are wherever we go. That's for sure.
I'm taking
So-
notes.
So yeah, what else on the?
One other thing, you all know we order a lot of things from Amazon. Not all campgrounds you go to allow you to have items delivered. So if you need an item and you're in a campground, you may have to check with the local, like if you're ordering it from Walmart, you may have to check with the local Walmart, see if they'll let you do a pickup there. Or if you're ordering it from Amazon, Amazon has drop boxes, you just have to check into all that.
Yeah, find out where they have them, in certain cities and things like that.
Because most of your state national park, COE parks,
Yeah,
they don't all allow you to have deliveries.
right. And and then another thing, well, I guess we can touch on this a little bit. A lot of YouTube channels, and we're kind of guilty of the same thing. We will show videos showing how blissful it is and how beautiful it is at some of these campgrounds, and stuff like this. But we have been in campgrounds before, COE campgrounds, where we didn't feel right. Something just didn't feel right.
That's why we have a home on wheels.
Right, and we had reservations there for 2 weeks, and we thought, no, we think we'll just move on.
Yes.
So in 3 days, we were hooked up and gone, and we found another campground down the road, and it was one that we felt more comfortable
You just
at.
have to modify
Yeah.
sometimes.
And there have been times where we have been in campgrounds and there's been some party animals nearby that party up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, so we don't get any sleep those nights. And it's one of those things where you wonder, well, should I go out and confront them and tell them, hey,
We don't.
would you please be quiet? But we don't do that. We try not to do that because the way
No.
we look at it, well, it's Saturday night. As soon as they sleep it off on Sunday,
They'll be
be
gone.
packing up and be gone. So, you know, but we have had that happen before. So most of the time, though, you know, everybody is all settled down.
Most of the
and,
time.
And we have a wonderful time and we meet a lot of wonderful people.
do,
But
and
there's going to be
that's-
times when you're going to be at a campground and there's a certain element there that is not conducive to,
Relaxation.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad you finished that
But
sentence for me.
95% of the people are just
Oh,
out
yeah.
there trying to find the same thing we are, which is
Absolutely.
a beautiful place to stay, peaceful conditions, just a time to relax.
Yeah,
And we have met, can't even begin to tell you how many of these wonderful people
Oh,
we
yeah.
have met. Some have become friends and remain friends, and we still remain in contact. We meet at other campgrounds. Some, it was just a brief conversation at the campground,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they went their way and we went ours.
yeah.
But it just adds to the adventure.
Well, when we get back to Arkansas, we're re-meeting up with some people that we met probably, 2.5, 3 years
2.5, 3 years ago.
And we even did a short video with them, and we haven't seen them since.
Nope.
But we stay in touch, and they wanted to meet up with us again. So we're meeting up back at a campground
For a
in
few
Northwest
days.
Arkansas for a few days, and we're looking forward to it. So yeah, the network of friends that we have built is pretty awesome.
Yes, it
and,
is.
And just because we have a YouTube channel, you know, you don't have to have a YouTube channel to develop that kind of a network.
No.
Okay. You will find the people that
Right.
are like-minded like you, and you can build your own network from
We
that.
get to see things we would never, ever, ever have seen if we stayed in sticks and brick.
Mm-hmm.
Because we was always worried about the money to travel, because the most expensive thing for us when you travel is the motel room. So
Yeah.
we just didn't travel. Now, you know, we've stated over and over and over, we try to keep our park rent down to somewhere between, well,
$400 to $500.
yeah, it's a little bit less than that, if we possibly can. And if gas is running a little tight, we just
Stay longer at one spot.
stay put for a little bit.
Yeah, travel
You know,
less.
you stay 2
to
weeks.
make up the difference. So yeah, and the thing about it is, had we have not done this, one of us would have to have continued working
To keep the house.
to
yes.
keep the house and everything, keep it going, and you know, we wouldn't be able to do this. So when we finally got rid of everything and then started doing this, that's one of the reasons why we've now been enabled to get out and do this kind of stuff
Right.
on a very, 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 very tight budget.
Yes.
Very tight budget.
We try to really watch it. We, you know, so we're not out there staying in these resorts. We're staying in much cheaper locations.
Yeah, yeah.
But we still feel at home. And it's just like last night. We both went into our trailer, shut the door, and Bill says, "We're home."
Yeah.
Because once you shut that door inside, we're home. And when you open the door in the morning, you have a whole new landscape.
And we're in a beautiful spot right now for this final week and a half.
Yes, we are.
Here in Florida before we start moseying back. So and we're enjoying it a lot. And I don't know. I guess are we ready to quit? Well, no, absolutely not.
No.
Not anywhere near ready to quit. We have been doing it for 5 years. We're going to continue to do it until we can't do it. You know.
We really feel like it's improved our health instead of
Absolutely.
of taking away from our
Which
health.
is another thing is what I was going to touch on. To be quite honest with you, if we hadn't have been doing this, I honestly feel that I would either be I would really have serious health conditions or I wouldn't even be here.
Well, it's just
Yes.
like another friend was asking me about full-time living at the last campground. And I said, well, you've got choices. You can get out there and see things and try to live as cheaply as you can and still have a little bit of adventure in your life, or you can sit on your porch until the day you die.
Yeah.
And he says, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's just the way we feel.
Yeah.
You always have choices.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do give up on full-time living, and I don't hold that against them any way, shape, or form.
No.
That's an individual choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Some folks prefer to come home to,
yes, they do.
you know, a 1,500, 2,000 square foot house, 4,000 square foot house. They prefer to have a room where they sit and watch TV. They prefer to have a really nice bedroom. They prefer to have these things, and they cannot imagine themselves living in 160 square feet.
Is that what we live in?
In 160 square feet. They cannot imagine doing this, and then, you know, having to hook up a sewer hose and stuff like this on a regular basis.
And see, that anymore is just
And that's okay.
whatever.
You know, it's just that in order
Yes.
for us to be able to do these other things that we want to be able to do and see the things that we want to see, and escape ice and snow,
That's true.
yeah, we chose this life over the other. And like I say, I feel much better now than I did a few years ago. That was a seagull. It just flew over us, I think, or something.
I don't know.
I was hoping he wouldn't leave something behind as he went over.
He's up there in that top of
But
that
anyway,
tree.
what's coming up next? Well, we're going to be heading back to Northwest Arkansas, moseying back there. We do arrive back in Northwest Arkansas around April the 15th. We're going to stop off at one campground that will be real close to where the eclipse will come through in
Yeah,
April.
we'll be there for
And we'll
that.
be meeting there with a few friends to observe the eclipse at this particular campground. And then, of course, we end up back in Northwest Arkansas. We'll be there for a while to take care of business, taxes, that kind of stuff, doctor's appointments.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll start moseying towards where we're going to be holding the next Tiny House Adventures rendezvous.
That's right. That's coming up
In
fast.
Greenville, Missouri. And believe
Ed,
it or
I need
not-
my shirts.
Yeah, Ed, we need our shirts. And believe it or not, that's only 3 months away. Deb got her notice just the other
Yes.
day.
It's like, oh my gosh.
June the 10th through the 14th at Greenville Campground in Greenville, Missouri. It's Greenville COE Campground.
Yes.
It'll be under Greenville Recreation Area. However, if you go in there and try to find a site for this event, the chances of being able to get a site is fairly slim, but still go in and try because there could be a cancellation. But when we had made this announcement, just barely inside the 6-month window, which was 3 months ago, within a day and a half, the campground was pretty much full.
Which shocked me.
Yeah.
I was totally shocked.
And we kept trying to tell everybody, you know, don't wait. If you want to go, make the reservation. If there's something changes and you can't come, it'll cost you $10 to cancel your site, you know. But anyway, that's where we are on that. And then once we leave there, we're going to go up into the Indiana, Illinois area. We're going to Illinois area.
Illinois.
I said Illinois. And then we're going to start moseying back down through Kentucky, Tennessee, and eventually end up back in Northwest Arkansas for a little bit to see the kids and everything. And then we start our next adventure after that. And to be quite honest, we haven't decided if we're going to continue to come back into this area or if we're going to go to a different area. I just mainly want to avoid snow.
We don't like snow.
We don't like snow. Yeah. So that's us. But anyway, that's what our plan is. Thank you so much for all of those that have been following us along. We will be doing more walkthrough videos. We've got a lot more content to show you. We went on a wonderful trail ride just the other day in a beautiful forest here in Florida. And we'll be showing you that. We are hoping to be able to tour 2 different trailer manufacturers while we're down in this area between now and when we pull out.
You better hurry and get those
I
appointments.
need to get those appointments set up, that's for sure. And we're going to be doing a couple little things on the trailer, and we'll show you what we're doing there. One is fixing that minor leak that we have in the ceiling.
We have a plan.
In the roof. Now, for those of you that have hung around this long, and we appreciate it,
Oh, absolutely.
what I'm talking about is hung around this long with this video.
I know.
Okay, yeah, we appreciate that. And so we've saved some of the best for last. I've prepared a little slide show video, and it's just the length of one song.
Some
Won't be very long.
Some of the people we've met, not all of them,
Not
but
all
some of them.
but showing some photos, people we've met, some of their trailers, some of the places we've been, and we just hope you enjoy the video. But for now, did I say video?
You said video. It's a vid.
Hope you enjoy.
You hadn't started drinking yet.
I need Fireball. It's almost Fireball time.
It's almost Fireball time.
Anyway, enjoy the slideshow. It's not very long. And what we're going to sign off and say, though, this is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. We're not camping.
We are living.
Y'all need to get out there and do some living. And we'll see you soon. But for now, enjoy the slideshow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.